Hey guys, it's Jenny here. Welcome back to my channel. So great to have you here again. If you're new to my channel, welcome to It's Jenny Style. I make beauty and lifestyle content and vlogs. Thanks for tuning in. So today we'll be talking all about pimples, those little uninvited guests. Usually I don't get that many pimples because my skin is dry and doesn't produce that much oil or sebum, which I'm truly grateful for. But of course, I do get those occasional zits here and there, and recently I had 3 in total, those really red and inflamed, painful ones, while testing out a new product, which I threw it in the garbage, by the way. Joking. But I did put it away in a drawer so I don't see it anymore because it makes me sad to look at it. They showed up at different times over like a week's time. So to treat these pimples, I finally got to try a few different types of acne patches that are currently popular in Korea and figured out what works best for me. And I could manage to make the 3rd pimple flat overnight. So I'll tell you all about how I did that. So make sure to stick around until the end of the video to get all the tea. Also, I'll be doing a mini review about each product and share tips that could potentially help you treat your acne more quickly and effectively too. Okay, now let's get started. There are 3 acne patch products we'll be talking about today, and the first one I want to show you guys is the Dr. Oracle Spot Patches. I already used some patches from this packet, but basically there are 4 packets included in the pouch, and each packet contains 23 patches in 2 different sizes, so there are 92 patches in total. One thing that's different from other regular hydrocolloid patches is that these have tea tree leaf oil infused in them, like lots of other acne healing products, for anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and calming properties. Use the corrugated line to take the patch off easily from the film. The patch is a pretty thin, translucent hydrocolloid sheet with a matte finish. It sticks to the skin really well and flexible and stretchy to allow for movement. Like any hydrocolloid patch or bandage, these help your skin heal by gently absorbing excess fluids, including pus and oil, and protecting the skin from bacteria, pollution, germs, and other physical irritations. The second one I have here is Isoy hydrocolloid patches with a spot treatment gel. There are 3 packets included, with each containing 30 10mm patches, so 90 patches in total. A 2ml Acne Dr. Furt Speedy Spot Treatment Gel is included in the package as well. These hydrocolloid patches are no frills standard ones, but I bought this one because I was curious about the spot treatment solution. The patches come in only one size, which I wish were different, and they're a tad bit thicker than the Dr. Oracle patches. They stick to the skin and stay on well. On the container, it says to use the spot treatment solution first and then put one of the patches on for maximum soothing effects. It's a clear gel and the consistency is pretty thin, so it's easy to spread and absorb. It contains tea tree leaf oil and licorice root extract for anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial effects. It feels pretty gentle and doesn't irritate the skin as much as other spot treatment products I've used before. However, this solution didn't end up doing much to my pimples this time around, unfortunately. I used it for 1 day and I didn't notice my pimple calming down. Maybe I should have used it for a little bit longer to see results. I'm not sure, but that was my experience this time. Okay, now the third one we have here is Agropass Trouble Cure Micro Dart Patches. This, in my opinion, is the most interesting product out of the 3 because this one works a little bit differently and has tiny needles. So this product comes with 6 cleansing swabs and 6 micro dart patches, which means 6 applications in total. It's a 2-step acne treatment, and the first step is to clean and sanitize the affected area with the cleansing swab soaked in salicylic acid and tea tree oil. I found this cleanser to be pretty strong, so I wouldn't recommend rubbing too hard. And then secondly, stick and press the patch on the zit directly to start treating the inflammation. The tiny, extremely thin spikes penetrate and deliver acne-fighting and healing ingredients like hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, and oligopeptide to the heart of the angry pimple and fast-track the calming and healing process. These needles dissolve in 2 hours, delivering all the potent ingredients, which is why the patch should be left on for at least 2 hours. sticking on the patch is really not that painful as the darts are extremely tiny. The size of the patch is slightly bigger than the other two hydrocolloid patches. Now that we've looked at all these different types of pimple patches, I'll tell you all my tips and what I found works best. So the first tip. I found that hydrocolloid patches work best for pimples that are superficial or are coming to a whitehead or have come to one already. These patches were amazing at speeding up the maturing process and sucking up all the gunk existing in the pimple, as well as helping it heal after it's been opened and drained. These patches keep the area clean by preventing any excess fluid from dripping or crusting over the area. I definitely saw a difference in the healing time, and they also help with minimizing scarring. Also, another benefit is coverage. Your zit is less noticeable with a patch on and is kept away from more germs, bacteria, pollution, and all the other bad stuff. You can also apply makeup over it if you want, which can come in really handy as well. Always remember to clean the area before you put on a hydrocolloid patch and keep it intact for at least several hours. The recommended length of time is from 8 hours to 12 hours mostly, or until the patch becomes opaque and white, which means it's sucked and absorbed fluids and now it's full and ready to come off. If you peel it off too prematurely, it could potentially cause breakage or damage to a healing pimple, which is not good. So for my first pimple on the chin, because that pimple was coming to a whitehead, the hydrocolloid patch that I used sped up the process a little bit, and after the first application, I was able to drain everything and start the healing process right away with another patch. I think it took 2 more patches for my pimple to basically heal over. So the next tip, microdart patches I found are amazing at calming down early stage painful, inflamed, under the skin type of zits. So the last 2 pimples I had, I didn't need to drain at all because these needle patches effectively brought down the inflammation and basically made them disappear. So I would recommend these patches for any inflamed or cystic type of acne or pimples early on in the beginning stage. I think the earlier, the better. So the second pimple I had was really painful, inflamed, and red. But for the first 3 days or so, I didn't really put anything on. And it was just really big and like furious, but it hadn't quite come to a head yet and just been stuck in the process, which is like the most frustrating situation ever. So I tried a microdart patch on, and to my surprise, it was still able to calm down the pimple. However, it took multiple microdart patches for it to completely subside and become flat. I think I used 3 or 4 patches in total for that baddie. On the other hand, the third zit I had, I used a microdart patch as soon as I discovered it, and guess what? It only took 1 patch to bring it down. It was flat after 1 overnight application. Keep in mind though, even after using microdart patches, there could still be a bit of dark reddish mark left, which is basically like a small scar because of the irritation and trauma caused by the pimple. However, this hyperpigmentation should disappear pretty soon, and in my experience, it's definitely way smaller and less severe than hyperpigmentation and scarring from popping a pimple, which we should never do, by the way. It's so tempting, and I'm so guilty of. So all in all, my tip is to put on a microdart patch ASAP as soon as you discover an inflamed pimple coming up from under the skin. The sooner the better, like I said. Also, I found overnight application to be much more effective than daytime application in my experience. Another thing I want to mention is that be very gentle when you remove a patch from the skin. Don't yank it off because you could break the surface layer of the healing pimple and the surrounding skin. Unless the patch you have on is already pretty much lifted and full, therefore it can come off easily. So I use lukewarm water to soak the area before taking it off, which softens the bond and makes it easy to peel it off. By the way, I really wish I took pictures of my new angry zits when they popped up so I could show you guys the before and after more clearly. But honestly, I wasn't planning on making this video at first at all, so I didn't think to record everything. But this is how they're looking after like a week. There's definitely some scarring left, but they've all calmed down and healed. So now I'm focusing on fading the hyperpigmentation, and I just started using this scar cream on the spots to help fade them faster. I won't go in depth with this one, but let me know if you guys are curious about this cream. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned a thing or two about pimple patches. I'll be so happy if this video could help you deal with yours faster and better in the future. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!